Hi, my name is Ingmar Nopens. I'm Managing Director at C-biotech. And at C-biotech, we use industrial hemp to clean polluted soils and regenerate poor soils. And with the biomass that we harvest from it, we create sustainable, bio-based and circular materials. We know that this panel is carbon negative, it's sustainable, but we wanted to quantify that. So how sustainable is it? And on the other hand, once you know that, you also know what are the biggest contributors to the sustainability of the panel, and you can then actively work on making it even more sustainable.
For C-biotech, Tunley Environmental undertook a Lifecycle Carbon Assessment on their C-Hemp Insulation Panel. The process for this assessment was using the ISO 14067 standard, and we assessed everything from cradle-to-gate for C-biotech's insulation panel. The findings for this assessment were that the emissions for one panel were quantified to be 67.3 kilos of CO2e for fossil emissions, and for biogenic uptake, the emissions were calculated to be minus 22.7 kilos of CO2e. The life cycle carbon emissions of similar insulation panels were typically between 10 to 60 kilos of CO2e per metre squared, whereas the calculated emissions for C-biotech's C-Hemp Sandwich Insulation Panel was minus 7.6 kilos of CO2e per metre squared when biogenic uptake was taken into account. This means that the C-Hemp Sandwich Insulation Panel actually removes CO2e from the atmosphere. This is due to the uptake of CO2e from the atmosphere by hemp and the recycling of the whole panel at end of life.
So based on the study we did with Tunley, we now have quantified the sustainability of our sandwich panel. And this is important because our mission is to turn the construction sector from a huge carbon emitter into a carbon sink. And so now we know to what extent we can contribute to this. And what is important is that it is now scientifically backed. We knew that it was carbon negative, but now we have really numbers that were based on data. And that's where the joy of working with Tunley comes in, because they asked the right questions. They asked the right data that they needed to come to this number. And now we have all the information and the breakdown of all the contributors. So we also know how we can further make the material more sustainable.